Well, the program has made me like a little eagerness to go out and do something and not just like wait for the team practice and do things on my own.
As his dad, I can tell him till I'm blue in the face that this needs to be done. And sometimes it doesn't resonate coming from the dad. Sometimes it needs to come from a pro ball player.
Through your program, I just realized like how much more I could learn. I could just feel the improvement over the course like of 4 or 5 months, like you said. With you being able to supply me with this type of structure, I'm able to just learn for myself and learn how to improve by myself, which makes me feel a lot better as well as a lot more accomplished in the end.
I definitely recommend joining it. It's awesome. The community's great. Having you there to support you is incredible, and overall love the program.
You get the full structure. You get your lifting, you get your arm velocity, you get your mechanics, you get your hitting, and the hands-on approach from you.
Infield velo was 68 or something like that. It was not good. My 60-yard dash was 7.7, which is not good. And I was not very mobile. I wasn't very strong. I mean, I'm a big kid, but a lot of it was just like from my size. My infield velo now is 80, and my 60-yard dash is 70.
It's insane. What was the root cause for all that?
I mean, it was just staying consistent with the program. I think just I had to really stay on, like focus on the path that I was trying to get. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to become elite. I was trying to get better. I know the stats at the time. I was like, oh yeah, that's not that bad. But going back and looking, that's not where I should be to play at the next level. Staying consistent with the program really helped me through that time.
I feel like now I'm really like dialed in into what I'm doing. So when I do it, it's just like this before, like you talked about earlier, like it's just coming in naturally.
That felt good. I mean, it gave me my confidence shot up. I think you should join in. You do a really good job of replying back to messages, and you're really fast to help out other people with like coaching and their swings. You're a pretty good coach.
Hitting improved, touching improved, velocity went up, speed went up, everything in general went up. Before joining, I tracked my 60 time and I was running a 8.22, and then after a while I did a showcase and then I ran a 7.08.
What do you think the leading cause for that? That's a crazy jump.
Probably mobility and probably the exercises that you have in your academy that allow for growth in those little tiny muscles that people forget about.
I could tell I was hitting the ball a little bit harder, and then it got better and better and better, and then my speed picked up with the sprinting training and all that, and I was just getting a lot better. But before that, it was not super good. I've definitely picked up on my hitting velo. Before I joined the program, my velo was 72 off the bat, and at this showcase, I hit 80.
That's insane, dude.
No, so when I first saw your program, you were talking about how to get to college and how to get D1 and get recruited and all this, and that had me super interested because I'm trying to go D1 and everything, try to get a scholarship and all this, and your program definitely talks about it and helps you walk through it and get you started. Honestly, I would say like the program definitely helped me a lot. Helped me work through some things, get my visualization for games and all that, just get prepared.
Obviously, like my program's remote. Like, have you had any trouble by doing the work that I provided
we
you?
will be
No,
on
it's right in
our
front of
way
you.
today. We're gonna be doing some reviews of some drills that we came across on Instagram, so I thought that would be fun. But let me just go ahead and get everything set up right now. Guys, this is day 9 of streaming every single day. So hope everyone's having a great day today. And yeah, without further ado, guys, this is what I've been doing for 9 straight days. It's been definitely really enjoyable, and I definitely want to keep this process going. So first and foremost, I just want to make sure I am good to go. Let me just check out the audio. And okay, we are good as far as the audio. So if you guys have any baseball related questions today, you are more than free to ask. But I'm going to be reviewing some, let's just call fun videos that I've come across my page. And yeah, kind of curious if you guys align with some of these things. I'm going to go ahead and actually create a little bit bigger screen for you guys because we don't need to have my name that big. I'm not that important, guys. And then we can make this possibly like that. And then, yeah, that works. Does that look good, guys? Go ahead and make myself like that and like that. So we're going to be reviewing some, yeah, like I said, some baseball clips that have come across my FYP. And then that way I can kind of just give you guys my raw insights on if it's a drill that I think is worth doing or not. So we're going to start off with this one. For those that can't tell, that is a chair attached behind him. And there are certain drills that you can tell while doing the drill or while the player is doing the drill, it doesn't look like it serves them at all, right? Like I think you can tell this athlete probably is working in, it looks like a foreign country, right? But it looks like his work ethic's pretty solid. Looks like his feet are moving pretty solid. He's replacing his feet super quickly. He's also, transitioning really well with his, with his hands. Like I think he's a pretty good defender. Where I don't think he needs to attach a chair to get better at hitting. But let's go through basically this Reels tab is going to be the easiest way to do this. If there's a baseball related video, I'm going to go ahead and kind of like just let you guys in on what's going on. And my FYP might be a little bit different, and maybe is a great example. So maybe, just maybe, there's going to be like a non-baseball related video, and that's where like I still want to be able to give you guys my insights on what's going on as well. But Ian, hopefully you're enjoying this type of content, guys. This is a little bit different than what we are used to, but I just want to make sure everything is actually set up first and foremost before I get going, because I'm going to just kind of like live react to a bunch of stuff here on Instagram. So let's get started. I'm setting up my screen. Okay, cool. All right, so this drill, very, very young athlete, very young hitter. In my opinion, he's doing the one hand and you know, he's doing the top hand and the bottom hand drills because probably the adult is telling him to, right? With some of the, and this is where I think it's important to develop the fundamentals first before we start going crazy, right? Because by doing some of these drills, like for example, this top hand drill, I don't know if you guys can tell, but when you're doing your top hand drill, he is chopping down towards his front hip, and he's also releasing his wrists very, very early. Releasing the wrist basically means rolling over, and we don't want to train rolling over because what's going to happen? We're going to practice that, and then it's going to become muscle memory, and that's not going to be good for anybody, right? So, yeah, when we're looking at the bottom hand though, so the top hand, you can see how quickly his wrist turned over right there as well, right? Not necessarily going to benefit him, especially because he's such a young age. Now, look at his front shoulder right here when we're doing bottom hand. Look how quickly it flies open and towards third base. These are things that, you know, parents don't realize that they're doing, but can hurt, not necessarily help. If we're going short bat as well, that's also something that's cool as well. But let's actually turn the audio on.
Principle called Fitt's Law. High accuracy demands low velocity. Your brain subconsciously breaks your feet just to ensure you don't touch the plastic. To fix it, first we induce post-activation potentiation. I overload the hip flexors with resistance. This forces the nervous system to recruit high threshold motor units that the latter completely ignores. Next we move to neurological overspeed. The band unweighs my mass, tricking the CNS into firing at a frequency gravity usually makes impossible. Then we train medial edge reactivity. Receivers don't play flat-footed. I move my feet outside my frame to train the inside edge while pumping my arms to fire the entire kinetic chain. We are activating the twitch. The last step is raw transfer. No bands, no cones, just raw neurological output with body weight. This is what real foot speed looks like. The agility ladder is biologically forcing your feet to be slow. It's a principle called Fitt's Law. High accuracy demands low velocity. Your brain subconsciously breaks your feet just to ensure you don't touch the plastic. To fix it, first we induce post-activation potentiation. I overload the hip flexors with resistance. This forces
there are a lot like long, big words. I don't know really what he's saying with like the biological side and things like that. And if he has like a background in that, that's awesome. But the speed ladder has been around for so long because it does work. Like I did speed ladders all the time. I think it works exceptionally well for baseball players as well, because baseball players, we need to have like that rhythm to be able to understand how to basically have quick feet, right? And when we want to have that quick feet, we're going to go probably laterally. We're going to do the kind of like, not necessarily the karaoke style, but we want to make sure that we're doing those exercises in that regards, right? Those are things that I think are, you know, super helpful with everything. So
forces the nervous system to recruit high threshold motor units that the latter completely ignores. Next we move to neurological overspeed. The band unweighs my mass, tricking the CNS into firing at a frequency gravity usually makes impossible.
So I would also use like a soccer ball and do these like mini step ups to be just super quick with that. It helps you like stay on the ball of your feet. That also.
Then we train medial edge reactivity. Receivers don't play flat.
This is also for football, by the way. So understand that how he is going to train is going to be different than how baseball players train. Baseball players don't need to have basically high effort cuts. High effort cuts are basically you're running at full speed and then you have to cut a direction, whether it's a 90-degree turn, maybe it's a U-turn, maybe it's a slant, but that's how the baseball doesn't necessarily require out of us. If you really think about outfielders, like they need to see the ball and then go in one direction. We're not really talking about making huge cuts other than maybe realigning basically our route.
Flat-footed. I move my feet outside my frame to train the inside edge while pumping my arms to fire the entire kinetic chain. We are activating the twitch. The last step is raw transfer. No bands, no cones, just raw neurological output with body weight.
Yeah, what you can see right here, what he's using is just like one singular line. I used to always do this. When you're on a sidewalk, there's usually the cuts in the sidewalk, and that's an area where I think it's really important to use as a line to either go up and down. Basically, you're facing the line like this, and you're going up and down with your feet, or the lines like this, and we were going side to side, right? Side to side. These are just things that I've done throughout my journey as well, and it's very similar to what he's doing as well. But of course, with some of the cuts that we were talking about earlier, not necessarily the best.
This is what real foot speed looks like.
Living in the
Once you got to the big leagues.
Okay, really funny story about this. So this Turner Ward's been coming up as well. So he was the big league hitting coach with the Cardinals my first year, I believe, that I was in spring training. And kind of fun story because I'm pretty sure it was Mike Schilt. He asked me, he was like, oh, you know who that was, right? Because he said hi to me or whatever like that. And I was like, yeah, sure. I did not know who that was, by the way. And he was like, who was it? And I was like, oh, shoot, he's really testing me. I was like, and I just took my best guess. I was like, he's the hitting coach. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, how did I do that right now? And I had no clue. I really had no clue who he was. I didn't do my research. I was not prepared for that conversation. But yeah, he's an old-time country folk that is getting into the social media game. He's doing online training, which I think is really awesome and exciting for the game because he has so much knowledge that he could bring to everyone, right? And if we're thinking about like being selfish, right? If we're thinking about being selfish, he has so much knowledge. The most selfish thing that he could do is only work with his local community doing hitting lessons. And by the way, this is Brandon Donovan. I played with Brandon as well in AAA, mostly with the Cardinals. Really good talent, very Tommy Edman-esque. But anyway, like, yeah, for Turner Ward, like if he only worked with that secluded community, like kind of like what a shame, right? Like he needs to spread that message out to other people, and that's exactly what he's doing through social media. So props to him.
A couple of the major, I shouldn't even say major, but things you had to get over, you know, once you got to the big league. So just kind of think about that.
Well, I think the first one, and you can attest to this, is like going earlier in counts.
That was like my number one thing because I know that was so hard for you. Why do you think it was?
Brandon also is really good with the 2-strike count, just like me, like being able to foul off good pitches even, and feeling comfortable deeper in the zone as well. That's something that Brandon's like playing profile is. So that's probably why he said that.
It's so hard.
Well, in college, it was kind of about getting the starter out of the game and like getting into the bullpen.
Very much so, guys. That's something that like, it's weird. I remember I had talked with one of my teammates from high school that played at Florida State, and Mike Martin back in the day. Mike Martin's the old guy that's very well known at Florida State that coached for like 30 plus years. He would force all of their hitters to not swing the bat until 2 strikes. Like think about how crazy that is.
And then in the minor leagues, there wasn't like a ton of strikes, so you could almost be more passive. But then when you get to the major leagues, it's like the best of the best. And there aren't any breaks at all. So it's like sometimes you don't want to get into the bullpen. And sometimes you're going to get one pitch. Sometimes you might get multiple pitches and the stuff is just that good that you need to be ready to go. And I was also learning how to pinch hit too. So I get in there.
Yeah, so pinch hitting is very difficult as well. For those that don't know, in minor leagues or in big league spring training, a lot of the times I would come in as a pinch hitter. And it is very, very difficult to be cold for like 6 or 7 innings and not really have a warming up to the game.
Pinch hit and just strike one, and then they can do whatever they wanted. So it's just like training to be ready to go on the first pitch, playing offense on offense.
I've also seen guys on the opposite end. They're so aggressive, right? They come through the minors, there's more strikes. They're more around the plate. Then all of a sudden they take that same aggressiveness to the big leagues. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I got to learn to be more patient. So there's this balancing act that you're always kind of trying to do. And it's a lot of times it's according to where you are mechanically, mentally, you know, how you feel at the plate. So once you got to the big leagues.
Yeah, really good content right there, because that, again, guys, like for Turner Ward to be able to spread messages like that to everybody that is willing to listen, that's awesome. By the way,
so you're getting 50.
This is the content creator. Are you being lied to? You don't ever want to put an athlete in a box and be like, yo,
This is what you got to do. This is what you are capable of, and that's it.
Don't be the talented football recruit that ends up at the local D3 wondering what if as he watches his dream school play on Saturday nights. Not what if I had trained harder, not...
Guys, this is like such an important mindset shift that I really want you guys to really understand. I don't want you to become a NARP. And by the way, guys, I used this, I think, yesterday as well, because there was a family member that came in, was talking about a walk-on at a D2. Guys, you don't want to live with this regret when you are a NARP or you are a regular person at college. You're trying to become a student athlete, and you're carrying this like regret of what if I trained harder? What if I took it serious my sophomore, junior, and senior year? What if I reached out to more college coaches? What if... Guys, that is going to eat you alive, so don't let it get to you.
What if I had made those plays, but what if I actually put time and effort into my recruiting? Because 90% of talented recruits end up here, they think that...
Will works with like football players as well, so go check him out if you're a football player.
Just because they're good, coaches will find them. But just being good at football isn't enough to play at the highest...
Yeah, just being good at baseball, guys, isn't enough anymore. You have to really like put your effort into like the professional aspect of how to reach out to college coaches, communicating, making sure it's personalized, making sure that you're professional. These things go a long way.
Level for most recruits. Because there are less talented recruits than you landing the offers that you deserve, because they understand that being talented on the field is only half the battle. The other half is being able to showcase, get eyeballs on you, and convert and close that interest to offers. You can win even if you're a 0-star as long as you have varsity film and believe in your ability to play D1. I break down the entire process on my page, and you can copy it as long as you have varsity film. So drop a follow and start going through my page where I'll show you how. Don't be the talented football recruit that ends up at the local D3 wondering what if as he watches his dream school play on Saturday nights. Not...
Really good. I'm going to be watching this.
After really locking in on training over the past few months, we find
as an athlete, this is by far the best split you can have as an athlete to maximize.
Okay, what kind of athlete? That's always my question whenever I see pieces of content like this. Is like, what kind of athlete? Because a tennis athlete is going to train a lot differently than a baseball athlete. And a baseball athlete is going to train a lot differently than a gymnastics athlete.
Your growth in the weight room and on the court. Not only does this workout split actually make it so much easier to become more athletic, but it makes you so much stronger, so much quicker, and it's so much easier in the gym because you're saving so much time. Split I highly recommend you start doing as an athlete is the upper-lower split, and this is exactly how it goes. First workout of the week on Monday, you're going to be hitting upper body and upper body only. And on Tuesdays, you're hitting lower body, and you're doing exercises that actually...
This isn't like a new strategy, by the way, guys. This is like just focusing on certain areas so your whole body doesn't get tired.
It will translate to your sport. You're going to be doing explosive movements that get you more mobile, more flexible, and stronger in deeper positions. And Wednesday, you're just going to do a movement and core day. Just going to be doing some plyometrics, just some movement stuff, and then core. And Thursday, you're back to upper body. Friday, lower body. And Saturday, you are doing another plyometric or movement and core day. And then Sundays, you rest.
Yeah, this is very similar to like a workout regimen I was doing when I was writing my own program when I was in high school. And I got shell-shocked when I got to college, and the programming was way different because they did incorporate a lot more of full body movements halfway through every single day of lift, right? So typically the bulk of the lift will be an upper or lower body day, right? Of course, as far as like a deadlift or a bench, you're not going to typically do those things on the same day. But halfway through the lift, that's when we're going to incorporate our core, maybe our shoulder mobility, maybe our arm health with some arm care exercises. That way we're getting a lot more of a lift rather than just doing bench press and just doing curls and just focusing on those small areas of the body. We want to incorporate dynamic movements that actually, help us as a baseball player. This could be, he said court, so it could be for basketball, but yeah, we want to incorporate obviously baseball specific movements if we're trying to get better at baseball.
Ever notice how the second you start explaining, people kind of disappear? They're nodding, they're smiling, but you can tell they're already somewhere else. And it's not because they're skeptical. It's because you just turned the conversation into homework. Affluent clients don't want to deep dive into your process. They assume you know what you're doing. What they're really listening for is this. Will my life feel easier, calmer, better if I say yes? That's the whole game at the high end. You don't explain. You let them see themselves on the other side. And if you're interested, I can show you how to do this naturally without sounding all salesy in Whales Not Minnows, my twice-a-month video newsletter. And you can learn all about that at getwealthyclients.com. This is Mark Satterfield. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and pass this along to others that you may know who might find it helpful. I'll talk to you soon.
So, real quick,
bye for now.
I love seeing old people on social media. I don't know what it is about it, but I love seeing social media or old people on social media because I feel like it's like they have so much to share, but they're not accustomed to how to even post on social media. So I don't know who Mark Satterfield is, but I think he's a GOAT for sharing just like his wisdom in life. He seems like a pretty knowledgeable guy.
Ready to tie the knot? Coming up,
I'm turning my girlfriend into a fit.
Today we're gonna make some business.
If I was a parent, this is the advice that I would give y'all.
What are you talking about? You are a parent.
Oh.
What?
Well, I guess I am. But anyway, the advice that I would give y'all, fuck them kids.
Fuck us.
I didn't see it coming, guys. This is a family-friendly
fuck y'all.
channel. That's one thing.
Narrative management absolutely face fucks businesses out of results all the day.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to discuss it with my mom.
Today is your birthday. We gon' say it loud. Today is your birthday.
Guys, just real quick. Who do you think's posting this video? Do you think it's the kid? Do you think it's the parent? Let me know in the chat. Who do you think's posting that video? Do you think it's the parent? Do you think it's the kid? Who do you guys really think is posting that video? Do you think it's the kid who looks like he could be 4 years old? So, look, like Raptors baseball, Florida, like it's a happy birthday post for one of the players. Yes, like, fine.
I know you're so.
This is the type of content that, as a parent, you think it's okay to continue to post throughout high school. And I will tell you this right now. If a college baseball coach sees content that looks just like lazy, right? In my opinion, like, yes, you might not, if you were the one that actually created this video, you might not think it's lazy, but it's not what these coaches will want to see at the next level. And by the way, like, I'm not talking about the next level or playing college baseball for this individual because this individual looks like he could be like 10 years old, right? But we need to think about like the editing style and what these college coaches need and attracting these college, attracting those college.
Today is your birthday.
Yeah.
This is Ryan with
my AI.
Most athletes think the secret sauce to standing out is just the weight room or your highlight tape. The truth is the majority of you are only training to 70% of your true potential because your hustle is destroying your recovery. Missing just 2 hours of sleep can drop your athletic performance by 30%. If you aren't sleeping at least 7+ hours, you're not giving yourself 100%. You're giving yourself a C grade level or version of yourself. But how do you overcome your lack of sleep or poor sleeping habits? Try what's called the if-then statement for a plan that you want to put into place. What this means is you tell yourself, if it's 9 o'clock, then it's time to wind down my day and get ready for bed. This doesn't mean you have to sleep at 9:30 or something like that, but at least you're going to prep your mind and your body to start getting the necessary rest that you need in order to perform the next day. So stop being a middle of a pack grinder and start being a professional athlete now. Most athletes think the secret
Good call. So yeah, what I was saying is like the if then like thing. It's not like a new concept. It's just like it's training, in my opinion, to think about what you want to do and how you're basically not doing it, right? And I like being a little bit more binary with, like, what he said in this video was like, if it's 9 o'clock, then I should go to sleep. It's like, well, I want to create athletes, and this is what I kind of teach also inside my academy. I want to create athletes that want to go hit and then go hit. It's very binary. It's not like I'm going to think about getting into the car. It's not like I'm going to think about, do I want to do this or do I not want to do this? Oh, well, I'm going to have to pick up all the balls. Because now we're training ourselves to think about doing the action rather than just actually do it. That's why Nike's slogan is so powerful. Just do it.
A showcase baseball organization.
This is, I've been coming across some of his videos. Forgot his name, but he's kind of in the same, he was in the same program, and so was I, as one of my mentors that taught me how to do a little bit more online baseball training. So let's see what he has to say, because he's been kind of going on some of these rants about how showcase baseball is absolutely broken.
Didn't accidentally replace your youth team. They systematically dismantled it. This usually starts in the 7th or 8th grade. A call goes out to your youth team coach, offering him the opportunity to partner and pay more for less, attaching his team to a bigger brand. This is the classic, we can do this the easy way or the hard way, coach. If he says yes, your good thing quickly comes to an end and you join the circus.
For those that don't know, what he's talking about is basically the process of like a small market team, basically like a local regional team that is very solid and has some notoriety around their name. A team like Wow Factor or East Cobb Astros or FTB or, you know, all Canes will just eat them alive and then basically give them the funding and this and that just so that their brand of Canes can grow that much bigger.
But if he says no, that's when the hard way begins. The organization has already called every other team in the city your age, and they've acquired some teams and some individual players. Now they start calling your best player, and they let them know, we've acquired player A, we have player B, we've almost got the top 5 best players in the city, and we think you're one of them. You're gonna miss out. Your parents don't want you to miss out. You don't want your child to miss out. They play on...
If they're that age, more than likely, this type of communication's happening from player to player more than anything, not necessarily directly to the player. It's going to happen towards the parents, and the parents will feel that pain because of just the typical FOMO.
On the fear and apprehension of these innocent families, and your best player caves. When that happens, your team runs to each end of the city for tryouts, not wanting to be a part, but having to secure a place for themselves. And at that moment, your team is over. And that's how local teams become another stop on the showcase baseball circus. Not because it was better, but because it was dismantled. A showcase baseball organization didn't accidentally replace your youth team. They systematically dismantled it. This usually starts in the 7th or 8th grade.
I wanted to break into high ticket sales and not pay.
I'm always on board with showing love to also athletes that are showcasing the process, not necessarily creating content just for social media. So like this is showcasing the process of whatever workout he's doing.
This is gonna blow your mind.
If you're asking,
my 30th birthday is coming up, and I need to make something very clear, okay? I am never leaving my family phone plan. Ever. Ever. I could be turning 80 years old. I will still be on the family phone plan, okay? It was not my choice to be here. My parents decided that I should be brought into this world. Therefore, I feel like it's kind of an unwritten thing, like, I get to stay on the family phone plan forever. And when they're not around, guess what? I will still be on the family phone plan. I'm never leaving. My 30th birthday is coming up.
Watch how Ed Reed moves. This is what natural athleticism looks like. He isn't the only one who moves in this natural pattern.
I've seen videos like this about like how you walk, it determines if you're an athlete. Like, yes, there's some extent that works. There are some teammates that I've had that are so pigeon foot as far as like how they walk. It's kind of gross, but like they were still able to be really good athletes at a pretty high level at the professional level. Like, you know.
At his feet, light on his heels, strong forefoot dominance. Watch his arches. They never collapse even when he's cutting. And look at that inward spiral as his heel trails.
You said Burry? Is that Colin? Are you saying it's blurry? No. Is it actually blurry? Is my mic muted? No, you guys can hear me. I'm not muted, right?
Away to
can you guys hear me and everything? All right. Colin, you said blurry, so I don't know if that's blurry or what.
Transfer the energy. This is how we're designed to move. Remember those kids growing up? The ones who were just the most naturally athletic at every sport? They all move in this pattern. Same strong feet, same strong arches, same inward spiral release. You'll see the same pattern in almost all animals. Now go watch the indigenous tribes. You'll see the same thing, straight, strong feet, and that inward spiral with the heel going away.
A lot of stuff, like, it probably has some scientific background, but...
Here's the spoiler alert on this one. The elite level athletes are elite in everything they do. Most of them just are wired to have a high standard of excellence. It doesn't matter if they're playing ping pong, if they're jump roping, if they're juggling, if they're in the classroom, if they're on the field competing, they want to be the best they can be. I used to say to my son, you can't flip the competitive switch on and off. You either are a competitor or you're not.
I used to feel this a ton when I was doing my 5-10-5s. By the way, 5-10-5s are a great way to train your competitiveness individually against yourself, because you want to be competitive against yourself, not necessarily against the competition. And that's the big area where there's an unlock for the mental development side of things.
And you need to compete in the classroom. You need to look around and go, okay, where do I stack up here? I'm not going to be in the middle third. I'm not going to be in the bottom third. I'm going to be in the top third.
I think all those things are true, because like, yes, while you're making it's never too complicated.
To be honest, I'm not the kind of guy who's like itching for followers, but at the same time, I've had the same 4,600 since sophomore year of high school, which was roughly about 8 years ago. But I've been posting consistently for the past 2 months, and that's now 4,800. That's like 200 new people. And the trick is to not let these numbers fuck up your sense of growth, because yeah, there are people who get like 1,000 new followers off one video in one day. But like, I'm just glad people are finding the art. And
you're not one of them blacks, are you?
If a juicy's a little house, I cloned Alex Ramosi and made $1,000 in one day. Here's exactly how, so you can do the same. Step 1, cloning Alex Ramosi's brain. I started by taking his books and YouTube video links and pasting them in this website called Blur AI. Most people get terrible responses from AI because they give it all types of different content. The goal is to train the AI tool on one skill or one task. In our case, it's creating marketing content. So I'm only going to upload content that aligns with that. This allows AI to hyper focus on the right information. Step 2, building your framework. Once all that's uploaded, give it this exact prompt. Want the full prompt and a full breakdown? Just comment prompt and it's yours. Then AI tells me the exact formula Alex follows to turn testimonials into marketing material. Step 3, taking action. I interviewed the testimonials and asked them the questions, clipped them up and posted them on social media. People started booking calls, and as you can see, $1,000 in one day. I cloned.
Most kids don't post their freshman or they don't post their JV because they're worried, oh, I gotta have perfect film. And you're making a huge mistake by doing that, because the number one most important thing for a player to get offers is relationships. The more relationships you have, the more offers you're gonna have. So if you wait until you have...
I think even more important than relationships, guys, is creating the dynamic of showing progress. I think showcasing that progress is gonna do you so much better. Do you so much more, because showcasing that progress is going to ultimately show that you can achieve or you can solve problems at the highest level.
If the perfect film, what's going to happen? You're going to have less relationships. Yes, it's freshman game film. They might not offer you based on that, but they see potential. Most kids...
Exactly. So they need to see like the potential in the growth throughout freshman year, throughout sophomore year, throughout junior year. So that's where like the 8th graders that join into my academy, they build highlight clips. They build a database on YouTube. They build that process, because at the end of the day, guys, if you're never building that process and you just show up on the scene junior or senior year, well, what was this player looking like freshman year? Was he still 6'2"? And then now his senior year, he's 6'2", and he hasn't grown, and his exit velocity has stayed the same, and he's been plateauing for the past 4 years. These are all things that we need to make sure that we're taking care of.
Kids don't post their freshmen or they don't post their JV because they're worried, oh, I got to have perfect film. And you're making a huge...
All my children are married. All my children have prenups.
Halia, baby, can you pick up this mess? We have people coming over.
I'll do it when I'm done eating.
How about you do it now? People are going to be here in like an hour.
I said I'll do it when I'm done eating.
Halia.
Why are you talking to her like that?
Brecken,
like what? I'm telling her to pick up this stuff. People are coming over.
That's not how you ask.
What do you mean?
Pick up this fucking stuff right.
All right, so are we gonna
guess the top 5 Hispanic men?
So I played 7 years as a top prospect in professional baseball, and if you want to have a breakout,
for it, very, very engaging videos. So great job on the content side of things. But some of it's so psychological where it almost makes you confused after watching some of his content. Let's see.
year this year, here are the 3 things that you have to understand. Number 1 is if you're overthinking, it means you've lost your feel. Everybody's hooked on judging your swing, and if you ask for help, they will always have answers. But 99% of the answers will not help you hit better, they'll only make you think more. So when in doubt, follow the calmer, looser, easier approach to get back to where you want to be. Number 2 is you can't have an epic 3 or 6 month season until you break it down 1 at bat at a time. And this went over my head for years, but I finally figured out what creates hot streaks. It's not about having to change your swing every day or want it more than anybody else. It's actually about how you're...
Okay, by the way, completely wrong content type. So some of his content's really quick pace, a bunch of overlays, a bunch of things like on the screen. This is actually just more of like a talking reel, which is I love. So far he's talked about like step 1, just like really making sure that we have like a loose, easy framework of, you know, not trying too hard, because when we try too hard, we get tense, our muscles go slower. The step 2, I actually really like, because you can't think about big picture without being under a microscope and understanding it's not even really every at bat that we need to win, it's every pitch that we need to win. And those are the difference makers between, you know, the biggest names that you see, the Juan Sotos. If you think about Juan Soto, how does he really walk 100 times in a year, or 130 times in a year, right? That's a lot of walks, by the way, out of 162, right? Sometimes maybe even more. I don't even know what his exact stats are, but let's actually look it up, because we can right now. So the big thing is, like, guys, when we're thinking about like a guy like Juan Soto, let's actually talk about... By the way, guys, baseball, if you don't know what Baseball Reference is and you're a baseball player, what is wrong with you? Anyway, so 2025, last year, he had, let's see, 2025, he had 127 walks, guys. That is incredible. For those that don't know, like, the most I ever walked in a season was, I think it was like 65. And by the way, just because we can, that's your boy. The most I ever walked in a season, was 56, and I'll never forget it, because my walk to strikeout ratio, which is a good ratio to, you know, keep track of, was 1-to-1. As you can see, 56 walks, 56 strikeouts. That's a good ratio for most baseball players. I was very excited when I had a 1-to-1 ratio as far as walk to strikeouts. But if we go back to Juan Soto, Juan Soto, let's look at it. 127 to 137. Okay, not bad. This year he had more walks than strikeouts. He had over a 1-to-1 ratio, which is incredible. This year, again, oh, my bad. Where is it? What's going on? It's like clicking things that I didn't want it to click. Okay. So let's talk about this year. 145 walks to 93 strikeouts. Guys, that is incredible. This year, 2020, when he was with Washington, shorter year, 47 games. That was the COVID year. 41 walks to 28 strikeouts. Guys, that's incredible. He hit 351 that year. Of course, it was a shorter season and all that, but guys, like, incredible. The 1-to-1 ratio, he's well above that. So of course, winning every single pitch. These are things that, matter a ton.
Your mind prepares to see the ball each and every pitch. That's a pitch by pitch process. And number 3, the biggest thing to know is that it's not about getting hot, it's about how to stay hot. What that means is refusing to get overconfident when times are good. So if you want to learn more about what it takes to stay hot at the plate and have a breakout year this year, just hit the follow button. I'll see you tomorrow.
One thing that I like to, you guys can see my screen. So like if you're over here and you have a hot streak and you go up, it's about how long you can maintain that hot streak. Now, on the flip side, when you're having a little bit of a hot streak and then you go down, professional baseball, only thing that they really care about is in those bad games, which we will have, how quickly can you normalize it? How quickly can you get back to normal? So let's keep this going. Are you guys enjoying this type of content, by the way? Because I want to make sure that this is something that you guys actually enjoy. Make sure that this is something that you actually want to watch. I know Manny is back in action watching some content as well. We have a couple viewers on Facebook, a couple viewers over on YouTube, and some over on Instagram as well. But guys, if this is the content that you guys like, let me know, and
How I made peace with the part of baseball that no one ever talks about. You just went 0 for 4 for the second game in a row. You're on the bus ride home, phone buzzes, and it says, dude, where are you? This party's nuts. And there it is. Your stomach drops, your chest tightens. For a second, you're not even on the bus anymore. Everybody's out there living. You're just out here wondering if it's even worth it. There is no price on a stat sheet that shows this. This is the price of admission. This is the quiet trade that you make to become elite. The moment I stopped resenting this, my game changed forever. Not because it got easier, but because I finally accepted this cost of admission. Be grateful you get to make these type of sacrifices, because there are thousands of players that will swap with you in a heartbeat just to become an elite player like you, just to get a taste of that dream, to go to D1, to go to the big leagues. So this is the price of admission to get to play at the elite level. Do not shy away from these sacrifices. Embrace them, accept them, and become the elite athlete you are. How I made.
So yeah, really good content right here, right? And by the way, I think he's the owner of this Fresh Bats company. I think they help you design bats, which is pretty cool. Check them out. Fresh Bats. Wow, almost choked. So one thing about this, so yes, guys, there's going to be so many sacrifices that you have to make along the way, right? There's going to be the sacrifices of not partying, right? There's going to be the sacrifices of, your friends are doing this and you want to do that too. And yes, those sacrifices will always be there without a doubt. About this. So, right? And I want to make sure that you guys understand that that is part of the sacrifice. That is part of the mental challenges that you will have as a high school baseball player when partying becomes part of the equation. So there might be some parents out there listening to this live right now. Understand that when your kid is in 5th, 6th, 7th grade, partying isn't really a thing, right? And if anything, partying is like going to the pool party, having some pizza, but having parents there as well, right? We're not talking about drinking. We're not talking about staying up super late. We're not talking about, bad things that we can be doing, especially when we get our, our permit and our license, right? What we're talking about here is that's what will happen in the high school level. So that's usually the time where a lot of players will fall off the face of the earth. And I saw it happen so many times with players that I thought were good when we played together when we were in our middle school team. And that sacrifice, because I was able to make that sacrifice because I knew exactly what I wanted to do beyond high school baseball. But they wanted to, go party. They wanted to go out and drink and have fun with their friends and continue the lunchroom table talk. And I didn't really like that dynamic in the first place. So I had that understanding of I need to make these sacrifices because I knew that they were going to pay off. And that's something that a lot of people just don't really
Game changer never lies. Hitter squares, drops a great bunt, pitcher fields it, the throw goes up the line, the hitter's hustling around. He gets through second, cruises into third. Game changer says bunt triple. Who was on Game Changer?
Of course. So if anybody knows anything about Game Changer, whoever feels the need to score it however they'd like, that is how they want to do it, right? So for this example right here, for those that don't know how this is going to be scored at the professional level, at the Division I level, there are people at the Division I level that will make sure the plays are actually what they say they are, right? So like, for example, like this, if this happened in D1, they would reverse the scoring decision. At the professional level, they would review it, reverse the scoring decision. And these are things that would frustrate you as a player because you care about your average and things like that. But this obviously is a bunt single with a two-base error, right? So like, because the throw went up the line, we're giving him the single because it was going to be a close play. It would have been a single. If I was on Game Changer, I'm giving him a single with a two-base throwing error. That's pretty standardized.
5 objections, 50.
If you're running an AIA,
Dabo Swinney may never use the transfer portal again because a brutal transfer story's just taken place. So Dabo infamously never used the transfer portal, but 2 weeks ago went out and got a commitment from the ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year, Cal linebacker Luke Farelli. He allegedly signed January 7th, and they say he's already attending class and team meetings and team workout, and gets listed on Clemson's football website. Good job, Dabo, you got one. But if you think that means a player is committed in this age, you're far wrong, because on the last day of the portal, allegedly, Ole Miss and Pete Golding called Luke Farelli. As the story goes, Farelli even showed Clemson, hey, Ole Miss is trying to tamper, Ole Miss is making me this offer. And in a common move where you show your current employer an offer hoping that they'll match it, it appears he laughed off the Ole Miss offer, but then Ole Miss decided we're going to double the offer. Meanwhile, Clemson, who's thinking, oh, we've got our guy, he's literally in class right now, suddenly could not get a hold of Farelli. And then in breaking news Thursday, Luke Farelli is off to Ole Miss. Number being reported is that Ole Miss is paying him $2 million, which is a crazy number for a linebacker, but this whole situation, this whole world we're in is crazy. And poor Dabo Swinney, who thought he was finally making moves in the transfer portal, just got the chair pulled out from under him. Dabo Swinney may never use
it. It happens, guys. The portal is incredible, guys.
It might be a hot take, but if you're in college and still using ChatGPT, you're falling behind. Smart people have already switched months ago, so you gotta hurry up and lock in. Here's what people are actually using now. First off, we got Claude. This is for when you actually need something to...
Okay, really good. This is what I did in my career because I had a tendency of finishing right there. Okay, so see how she's finishing high, and then it forces her, because her back's up against the wall, it forces her to finish high, and then that way she's not hitting the net, or she's trying not to hit the net. One thing I will say, she's stopping like 3/4 of the way through. We want to get a little bit more extension all the way back to actually finish out this drill. But this drill really helps with those that stay a little bit too flat and basically will rotate backwards, right? And I had a pretty flat swing, but I stayed flat throughout extension as well. And if you stay flat, you're going to hit the netting right behind you. So it forces you to think about extension shortened to the ball, but then right after contact, not necessarily right after contact, right after full extension, you're focusing more on finishing upwards rather than sideways, laterally, hopefully So hopefully that made sense. You can kind of see finishing rather than finishing horizontally, right? Finish too horizontally, she's hitting that net. I would probably say step 6 to 12 inches away from that net so you're not hitting it constantly. But this is a drill that I actually used to do in Pro Bowl.
So this here is the biggest problem if you don't have control over your meals when you're trying to lose body fat. You see this girl here, she's just pouring that olive oil in the pan with no care for anything else. That could easily be 250 calories coming from
Okay, we know it's weird to turn on the camera in the middle of a fight. However, we really...
I'm going to get tossed today. One of my favorite stories is manager comes to the plate meeting. This is in the minor leagues. He comes to the plate meeting. I'm on the plate. He goes, "Hey, Brennan, my wife is actually landing at the airport in like an hour. So just so you know, I'm going to get tossed today."
I think this guy, I want to say he did some, he definitely did some games in the minor leagues, because I remember Brennan. I would always remember the umpire's name. "Hey, Brennan." And I just remember saying that in the game.
So
really,
just so you, I was like, okay, all right, well, I said, well, just
go out of it.
I said, so I was like, okay, we'll just make it good.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. So in like the second inning, I call a strike, and now I have to go through my order of operations in terms of getting to the ejection, right? Like I have to follow this protocol. And so I hear him yell, "Let's go, Brennan, balls down." And so I look over, which is my first thing. I have to acknowledge him. And I'm just staring at him. And he doesn't say another word. I'm like,
I'm trying to help you here, buddy.
So the next one, so the next pitch is like right down the middle. And he's like, let's go, burn that ball's up. And I look over and I'm like, hey, okay. And I think I said like, okay, I heard you, which is like another level, right?
Okay.
And he was like, no, let's go, that ball's up. And then you have to do your official, hey, that's enough. And got the little hand up, right?
Uh-huh.
Then he stopped arguing. And I'm like, oh my God, like what's gonna happen? And so like 2 more pitches go by and he doesn't say anything. And then finally, with like an awkward silence, he just goes, F you. And I'm like, okay, get out, right?
Really?
And so he comes out, takes his hat off, slams it, starts screaming at me. But every word out of his mouth is, you're doing a great job. I can't wait to it was all positive things. It was all positive about me, my crew, just telling. And then but as he's yelling this, he said, what took you so long to eject me? And now he's in my face, like head bobbing. And the next day we come in the locker room and he had put a bottle of Tito's in the room for us. he had just plopped it in there and said, thanks fellas. And that was I'm going to get tossed today. One of my favorite
percent
verifiable fact
that pro ball guys, they are some of the best stories that you'll ever hear because it almost sounds crazy. Have I ever faced Trevor Bauer? Kevin, no, I have not faced Trevor Bauer before.
Most amateur hitters do not sit breaking ball enough. It's a slower pitch. It often doesn't have a ton of break.
So I will say sitting off speed is totally okay. In my opinion, 2 things must occur before you sit off speed because some hitters just simply cannot catch up to a fastball after they are sitting curveball. So number 1, if you're in an 0-2 count and a 2-strike count, I think, if you get down really, really quick, 2 fastballs, you're 0-2, they're probably going to try to go down in the zone, and it's important to see the ball deeper. So have that instinct to see the ball deep. Really what you're looking for is a pitcher's mistake pitch of making sure that ultimately that pitch is in the zone, and then you can wait so long for it and shoot the ball the other way, even though it's an off speed. Now, the second thing that must occur is you have to have the barrel awareness to be able to foul off a fastball right down the middle in that instance. I think sitting off speed before 2 strikes is actually going to hurt you more times than not because it's easier to start fast and basically prepare for fast and then slow down with, a curveball. It's a lot harder to go from curveball to a fastball and speed up your swing because that's typically when things will break as far as your efficiency of your moves.
It doesn't have a ton of snap unless you're facing an elite arm. Like they throw too many for you not to sit on them more often, right? Especially high school varsity hitters. Like if you're not learning to sit breaking ball,
yeah, what I was saying is more on like the pro ball side when you're facing like 96, 97, 98. Like some of these philosophies that you guys will try in high school won't necessarily translate over to D1 baseball. And also some of the philosophies in D1 baseball are not going to transfer over to pro baseball. So, of course, keep that in mind.
Like those kids just spam the off speed. It's like they're afraid of the fastball, right? Now, when you get up in the count, right, then obviously like we go hunt our fastball. But you guys miss so many hanging breakables. And I'm talking about I've watched the best varsity hitters, in the Houston.
I think at the high school level, if the off speed isn't that great, like what he mentioned in the beginning of the video, you should have no problem facing like a fastball, gearing up for the fastball, and it shouldn't be that big of a velocity difference, and being able to adjust. I think like what he's really coming down to is have the ability to adjust, and you're going to be so much better off, right? If you have the ability of only seeing one pitch and hunting one pitch, and that's the only pitch that you can hit, like, yes, you're going to be good. Yes, that's going to create plate discipline, but is that really going to create any type of adjustability? And professional scouts will always look for adjustability because when you get to 2 strikes, which every hitter will get to 2 strikes a good amount of time throughout an entire season, what are they going to do? Are they just going to strike out because they're hunting one pitch with 2 strikes? No.
Houston area for I don't know how many years. I've coached them in the summer, and I can't tell you how many cookie breaking balls get taken for strikes. And it's just like, oh my God, that's the best pitch that you're going to get to hit all day, the entire tournament, right? You got to learn to.
That's something that I have a complete disagreement with, and this is something that I learned throughout my professional career, really, because I remember when I was in high school, college coaches would sometimes tell me, hey, sometimes you only get one pitch to hit. You have to be ready. And I think it's more of a mindset shift of like, hey, get ready, get going, because, you want to be ready for that good pitch, right? Now, I will say it's like, yes, sometimes there's one pitch that you can hit and everything else is a pitcher's pitch, or you can foul off pitches and things like that. But maybe it was just because I was good at fouling off those pitches, especially with 2 strikes. You will get more than one pitch to hit in an at-bat, let alone an entire tournament. So that's when I hear things like that, it's like, you will get other pitches to hit. Sometimes you'll get walked 2 or 3 times in 2 games or a doubleheader or whatever the case may be. And, but I really dislike when I started to realize, like, if I'm a good enough hitter, I will have multiple pitches to hit. And, like, yes, at the big league level, in a playoff game, like, yes, they're going to be slicing and dicing you to make sure that you don't have a cookie to hit, and you do have to be ready for those cookies. But if you're able to foul off pitches, especially with 2 strikes, work a 6, 7, 8 pitch at bat, that's where it's going to help you out. I did it again, but we really need to stop with the 6-7 stuff, guys. It's like very outdated, I feel like, but I've been accustomed to it now recently. But if you have a quality at bat and you get deep into the zone or deep into the count and you have multiple pitches, you will get multiple pitches to hit. So I don't like when I hear coaches say, like, you might only get 1 pitch to hit the entire season. It's like, come on.
To sit on the breaking ball and smash it. Like, if you know it's coming, it's not that tough of a pitch to hit. Most of the time, you guys only swing at breaking ball when you're fooled and when you have 2 strikes. And you'll just watch cook.
I'd say the bigger thing is at the high school level, because at the professional level, without a doubt, and even at the college level, you will be able to tell when a pitcher is changing up the grip in his hand. That's the biggest thing that we learned in pro ball is, like, if you see this, he's probably messing up his, the ball to throw a specific pitch, right? If he just stays right here and maybe he closes his glove really, really tight, he's throwing a fastball because he's trying to gear up for it already, right? So, if you see that, curveball. If you see this, that's a fastball. I think that's something that happens way more than you guys expect at the high school level. So if you can see that, then yeah, 100% sit that 1 pitch because you kind of know it's coming because they're giving you a tell. That's what it's basically called, a tell. So make sure that when you're in the dugout, you're looking for those things to help out your team, especially if you're playing a high level of travel ball, because a lot of the times pitchers don't realize they're even doing it.
Cookies that should be.
By the way, we got 5 more minutes of this live. I've been enjoying this. I don't want to do this every single day because I want to be able to answer your guys' questions. But if you have any baseball related questions for the next 5 minutes, I will answer them.
Demolished. Go over early in the count. Got to learn to sit on it. % verifiable fact that most amateur hitters do not sit breaking.
Sure, man. Let me ask you. In 1 season, I raised my batting average 100 points with 0 physical adjustments, and here's how. After I dislocated my shoulder my sophomore year of college and I needed surgery, I couldn't train anything physically for 5 months. But I used that time to shift my focus and train my mind. Reading books, meditating, watching videos of high performers to get a feel for how they think. And what I learned is that it all comes down to being present. So my next season, I applied these principles, and being the same size with the exact same swing, I hit .415 with 7 homers, increasing my batting average 100 points. All that changed was, instead of trying to get hits and be good in games, I just tried to be as present as possible and as focused as possible every time I showed up to the field. I recorded a 15-minute video outlining what presence is and how you can implement it today. So if you want the full video, just comment presence and I'll send it over. In 1 season, I raised my batting average 100.
So with some of the the batting average thing, a lot of it is honestly going to come down to a little bit more of mental adjustments, in my opinion. But yeah, raising 100 points, that's great. I technically raised my batting average 362 points because between my freshman and sophomore year, because my freshman year I batted 0. I was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts my freshman year at NC State. And my sophomore year I hit 362 throughout the entire season. So I'm not going to say I hit 300 extra points because I didn't make any physical adjustments. I became a lot better of a hitter. I understood a 2-strike approach, and that definitely. Okay, so what in the world was that hook? What in the world was that intro? Because I have no clue what I'm looking at right now. That's probably why it only has 4 views, and I think we've already come across this page before. So what are we looking at, right? This is the type of content that, guys, if a parent is editing it and you think it looks good and we're sending it off to college coaches, good luck.
Don't take creatine.
Stay away from that. If you don't know if your kid is drinking enough water and he's young, it can dehydrate him. I would just do like whey protein. I have a protein called cane protein, CANE. Something like that is good for him, but he has to be taking some type of protein because, like in the morning, what did you eat this morning?
I think some.
You think? Whoa. Hold on. Don't say you think. You ate something. What'd you eat?
Peanut butter jellies.
See what I'm saying, dog? Most kids are doing that. Most kids are eating peanut butter jelly or some cereal. My kids were eating steak and potatoes in the morning and protein drink. And then when they went to school, the reason I made my own protein, because I went to school and I saw what they were eating. I go, oh, man, they're at school from 9 until 4 to 2 o'clock, and they're eating this junk? No. So I started making my own protein to help them out because I saw there was a deficiency in nutrients.
Yeah, I mean, like, without a doubt, how you start off your morning, I think, is really, really important. If you're just eating, like, a half a scoop of, like, cereal, that's not any nutritional value, like, and you're wondering why you're still a $120 your sophomore and junior year, right? And you're underweight and you're undersized. Like, these are the things.
He basically said, so the entire done for you.
If you're really intense about making money.
So my two goals for Xavier was to get him into his legs, keep him back in his back leg a little more, and keep his momentum in line with the target. So I made this drill here, and I made him step in line with that line. So you see that the first time he tries it, the foot is kind of off the line, and then from there, right, he's staying back, and he's moving in the right direction, right? He's not moving offline. So I want his body to get used to staying back.
So see how his knee is bending outwards of his body. So if we draw a triangle between his feet and his head, like, I don't know if you can see that, right? Head to feet triangle. We can see his knee is out. It's bending out. It's like it wants to collapse. If there was a building, for example, like the great Egyptian pyramids, and we have like that triangle, but all of a sudden, like, some of it is taken from over here and put over here, and it looks a little bit lopsided. After, let's just say 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, whatever the case may be, that pyramid might bend over and break because of a gust of wind or because of a storm or this or that, right? We don't want to be that weak pyramid or that weak building. We want to be strong. So, like, when we're in this position, I think it's more important to have that knee inwards. And that's the same thing that would apply for also hitting. We would always, and this is the reason I know this, is because I would have this mistake when I'm hitting. My knee would bend outwards. And speaking with my hitting coach a lot, we would always want that knee to be inwards so that way we can be more grounded inside of our body.
But going in the right direction, right? So we use that line, right? And then I
So this is more or less for that back leg control, not necessarily direction, like in the beginning.
push the ball so that he can rotate his lower half and then finish in that line, right? So he knows what it feels like to finish.
The best example for alignment for pitchers is to get a 2x4 that's about 8 feet long and put that just on the floor. Have, you or your player go through your motion. Let's say the 2x4 is this way. I would be facing this way. I would throw, I would stride in line with that 2x4, and then that would just create better direction.
In line as opposed to the side. So on this one, I put the J bands in line. So I told him, don't step over the bands, right? Don't step on the bands, right? I had him do a couple drills, and he did a good job of staying in line. Right, he didn't go towards first base, right? The first couple throws were a little awkward, but he got used to it after a while, and everything was in line. I just wanted to get his body in line with the target, right? This one, I'm doing the hover drill, float the front foot, stay back, don't get yanked by your front.
Yeah, I think all
y'all see these two lines right here?
Again, for the alignment.
Front foot and
I didn't do it.
Expression that gets misused or misunderstood a lot by coaches, players, and parents. And I see this more
last video, and then we're gonna sign off, guys.
The youth level, but we do still see it sometimes at the older levels, is keeping your hands above the ball or keeping your hands above the barrel. And so what we don't want to come down so flat, right, that we're just basically a flat plane. All I can do here is roll my hands over. This is, again, what we talked about before, hitting around the ball. We don't want that. What we don't want either is this over-exaggeration where I'm coming in like this and my hands are so far above the barrel, my bat angle is so steep.
Ultimately, what we're always going to be striving for is the top hand to give a little bit. By giving a little bit, that barrel is going to come down, meet the plane of the pitch, and then ultimately come in and create that loft.
Because just like with the flat swing, I have very little margin for error.
we want to think about having as much of a level swing as humanly possible. And sometimes that feels like we're completely cutting the apple or the ball in half, right? But more times than not, our hands are going to be a couple of inches above that ball, and that's okay.
I have to hit that ball perfectly right here.
So yeah, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this live. I'm going to keep this really, really simple, guys. And if you guys enjoyed this type of content, I think this is going to be a lot of fun to be able to talk with you guys and to go over basically some reels. We're going to do this maybe every Saturday as like a routine. We are streaming every single day for, I'm going to actually change this on my iPad right now because I don't want to forget for Monday when we come back at 11 a.m. Eastern. We're going to be streaming every single day at, 11 a.m. Eastern. Today was 9 out of 50. I put that on my iPad just so I don't forget. But yeah, guys, if you have any baseball related questions, feel free to hit up my DMs on Instagram. That's what I do. If you guys are interested also in like the free 7 steps on how to reach out to college baseball coaches, click the link in my bio. Go to my website, MendozABaseballAcademy.com. Book your eligibility review if you guys are serious about getting some potential help as far as inside my one-on-one mentorship program. And without further ado, guys, peace out. I'll see you at the next one.